have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and look who's with us.
Hello.
Heidi's with us. Now, if you just stumbled on this channel, we are homeowners and we are converting ourselves over to full-time RVers in a slow pace. It went quicker than we thought, and that's because of change. And that's kind of the topic of this whole video, is change. The whole idea was we were going to take 8 to 10 years to go from homeowners with kids that live in the house to empty nesters and be on the road full-time in an RV. We weren't sure 100% how that was going to be planned out or work out, but I did have a plan. And as far as the plan goes, writing it down, getting it all set, go over every detail you could possibly think of, just throw it out the window because it changes. It changes so fast. Whenever we first started our channel, which was 4 years ago, been doing these videos for 4 years on this channel, and I don't know, we probably have about 430 videos we've done over the years. There's so many things that we look back on occasionally and say, wow, you know, we weren't far off base of what we thought. However, we definitely changed the way that we're doing things. The one thing that was the most important thing was right at the beginning, how hestant one of us was about that whole process. And it was Heidi. And I see that a lot on these channels. We get a lot of comments.
Scary.
Yeah, we get a lot of comments from, you know, the wives say, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I'd be afraid." And the husbands are all, you know, gung ho, or vice versa. You know, the wives are saying, "Oh, I would love to do that. I'd love to travel. I'd love to get an RV." But my husband, he don't like any of that. He likes just to do this and that's it. You know, he likes camping, but he just wants to drive to the campground and sit in his chair and watch a satellite TV all day, or sit in the boat all day and fish. He don't like the traveling part of it. So that's kind of a situation that you may find yourself in. It's normal. It's totally normal. And like with her, over just a short period of time, and after we've done a couple of trips, and we were trying to keep in the frame of mind of, hey, we could be doing this a lot more if you wanted to. She started falling into it more and saying, I understand. Okay, I see this. This would be okay. Sure, there's some problems and there's some things we got to work out, but yeah, I could definitely see this. What was some of the things you were afraid of?
Income.
Yeah, income's a huge one.
Yeah.
Income's a tough thing to
change for me. I mean, I lived here my whole life, the same city, minus a few years that him and I lived elsewhere. That change is, I guess it was probably something that my dad did and he didn't like, because he went to so many schools just like you did.
Right.
And we grew up in the same house. You know, we were, we all grew up in the same house in the same area our whole life.
For 1 year out of her 48 years, she lived 20 miles away from this area. And then for 5 years of her 48 years, she lived 5 miles away from this one area. And then all the other time, she's lived within 1 mile of this area. And now in the meantime, I'm all over the place. I lived in Florida, all over Florida, and then moved to Ohio. We lived all over Ohio. And then I was in the service. I was all over this country and other countries. And then moved back in the area. We met, and I've been with her for 29 years now. And I've been basically in this short little area, other than what I just discussed, because I'm the one that got her to go over to Akron for a year, and I was the one that got her to go to Alliance for 5 years. But other than that, we've lived in this area all this time. So I don't have a problem with changing and moving. I was at a bunch of different schools growing up. She was in one school district her entire life. So if you guys are having tough time with change, you may change your mind about it. You might actually become more open to it, and it might take some time. The thing is to be fluid You know, be really fluid with your plans. We had what we thought was a steady plan. We had a truck, we had a trailer, and then that plan changed, and I had to get another truck. And then that plan changed again because the truck needed a bunch of stuff that we felt comfortable with for towing. And then that changed again whenever the RV, we changed the outside, then we changed the entire inside of it and did a complete remodel. And again, we've done videos on all this stuff. So if you haven't had a chance, or if you do have some extra time on your hands, go back and look at our old videos. Like I said, there's like 400 of them, and just kind of go through and see which ones look interesting to you. And you can see where we've made changes all those times. And now, even just more recently, we just bought a new truck, and we just bought a new camper. It's one of those things, if I would have sat across from myself 4 years ago, after we shot our first video in this room, and I said, hey, listen, you have no idea, but within 4 years' time, you're going to have a new truck, a new RV, and you're going to be getting rid of almost everything that you think that you love. And I'd be saying, no, there's no way. That old truck out there's fine, you know, it'll do okay. And that trailer is a great deal. Yeah, they were, until we realized they weren't. So it's just one of those things that you're going to change. You're going to see change. So that's really the whole outlook that I want you to come away with watching this video, is that even me being as stubborn as I am and planning stuff as much as I did, I now know, because we've drug our feet long enough for this whole process, that there are so many scenarios that will come up that you just have to go with. You know, some of them were just, you know, different paths that we took. Same with Heidi. She would have never thought that if we shot that video 4 years ago, she would have got done, and she would have been standing outside the room getting ready to talk to herself and say, hey, listen, you're going to be full board on with this guy and what he's saying just within a couple years, and you're going to be wanting to do the same thing. You know, you want to sell it all and just go.
But whenever he first became interested in showing me some videos and talking about it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's a dream.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really funny because there's so many people out there that really picture this as some sort of a dream. And it's not. It really isn't. If you're an able body, if you have a truck and a trailer now, or if you have a motorhome or whatever RV you have, or a tent or a van or whatever you have the idea about doing, it's not that hard to picture yourself doing it once you realize that as long as you're dedicated to it and you work at it, it can happen. It's not a dream, though. By no means is it a dream.
Right.
It really isn't. And it shouldn't be a dream, because a lot of this stuff that happens to you while you're on the road's a nightmare. So you've got to be really aware of that. So you got to kind of have your own mental checklist. What kind of person are you? You know, are you happy-go-lucky? Can you handle a lot of change? Can you learn to handle change? Maybe you're not that type of person initially, but can you learn to change? As far as what you're doing and what your plans are you flexible enough that you don't mind if your plans get diverted and go a different direction? You know, it's so hard to talk about this stuff without being a cliche, you know, life is a journey and that whole thing. Well, this whole journey that we've been documenting the last 4 years is of us sometimes just vacationing and making changes and what's going on around the house, and, you know, car repairs and simple stuff. And then some of them being trips and us being out on the road. As we're documenting this stuff, you're seeing us change and do things differently because of things that we've experienced while we're going through this process and learning along the way. So that's really all we want to talk about, is just welcome to the channel if you just stumbled on. For subscribers that just joined on with us, check out our old videos, go through them. There's so many of them. Just see what piques your interest. Just kick back one day when you got the remote in your hand, if you've got a Roku or Fire TV or whatever they call it, Fire Stick or Google Chromecast, and just kind of flip through and see where we're coming from. Now, somebody that's been with us for a long time, it's maybe seen us from day one, a lot of the stuff's going to be old news, but we're kind of wanting to express how much we have realized we have changed over the last 4 years for no other reason than just us experiencing this journey that we already have of converting over to full-time RVers. So still got a little bit further to go, and we're getting very, very close. I think that's probably the most exciting part of it for us, is we're getting really close at this point. That's it for now. I can't think of anything else. Can you?
No.
If you guys haven't subscribed to us, please think about it. Click the subscribe button, but more importantly, you need to click that little bell. It's a symbol of a bell, and you'll see two little wiggle marks that show up next to it. And that way it'll notify you anytime that we post a video. That way you don't miss any videos. Because if you just subscribe, YouTube will decide when they want to give you a video of ours. But if you want to see all of them, just click the bell. Also, if you want to connect with us, we have Facebook, which is at RV Daydream. We also have Instagram, RV Daydream. We also have a website that we don't really do too much on. That's kind of her thing. We do want to explore more with that, but it's there. It's just there. So again, that one's rvdaydream.com. If you guys are interested in seeing what we're doing on a daily basis, it's kind of hard. You have to be on board all three of those mediums. We don't want to be that way, but we are. We might post something on YouTube one day, Facebook another day, Instagram another day. It's just smorgasbord how we're doing it. If you want to see everything, then become a patron at Patreon. Okay. And we do a couple little things extra there that we don't do for YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. You guys get first stab at the news before everybody else does. That's it. That's all we wanted to talk about today. And as always,
I hope to see you out there.
Bye.
Bye.